All right, we're here today. Are you IRS 4557 compliant? Today we're reviewing if you're compliant with the IRS. To help us break it down, we're going to be joined by Taylor Neves, our senior cybersecurity engineer at CNS. Taylor, can you walk through some of the best practices here?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for the question, John. So first off, though, what is IRS publication 4557, right? 4557 is the safeguarding taxpayer data requirements by the IRS. These are the rules that the IRS has in place that every single person who deals with taxpayer data must follow. So there are a few requirements under IRS publication 4557, two main ones. You have to have a written data security plan, and you need to have the necessary technical controls in place that follow what your plan says, right? At a high level, these are things like multi-factor authentication and encryption.
So, if you don't have these things in place, what are the consequences? What can go wrong?
Absolutely. Yeah, they range, right? On the more severe side, you can be penalized from the IRS. You can lose your PTIN. You can face client lawsuits in the event of a breach. And that comes down to security in general, cybersecurity in general. If you're missing those types of things, you are more risky, more vulnerable to breaches, to viruses, and other types of actions taken by bad actors.
So, other than, multi-factor, right? That seems to be a pretty standard things these days. What else, should be done?
Yeah, absolutely. The publication is pretty straightforward with its requirements. You need to have policies, written policies for your data encryption, for your backups, for your password management. You need to have multi-factor, as we discussed. You need to have a written incident response plan. That's a plan document that goes over what steps are taken in the event of a breach of some kind, of data loss, of a virus or ransomware. Who makes the decisions and what steps are taken in those situations. You need to have secure data storage and file transmission technology available to you. That's encryption, that's encrypted, data transfer. It could be through a third-party service or encrypted emails, something like that. And you need to have regular reviews and updates of your policies.
So it really seems that 10, 15 years ago, antivirus was good enough, right? And, today, there are managed service providers that have a whole stack of, technologies and practices, services. So, endpoint, detection and response is kind of a big thing today, and it's not just some piece of software. Lots of software throws alerts, but what's more important is the people behind it to take action. They need to hunt down what the threat was, and isolate or remediate that, right? So it's not just one thing, in your stack. You can't just say I need MFA and antivirus, right? It's a whole lot of little things that add up, to properly protect your environment and, of course, your customer data. So if you have, concern with meeting these requirements and you want to look at the risks that are associated, you can go to callcns.com, and we offer a free risk assessment to take a look at your vulnerabilities and do a penetration test, and share with you what a good plan would be to remediate and get you prepared to be compliant.
Absolutely. Yeah, perfectly worded, John.
All right, thanks, Taylor. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. You have a good day.